And welcome back to McDonald Park in Geelong. The second of the grand finals getting underway after New South Wales had a good win in the blind and sight impaired match, 13 overs aside due to the rain, and they won easily against South Australia. Can South Australia make it 3 in a row in the Deaf Championship after winning the last two? And they lost the toss. New South Wales won and sent them in. And we're underway with Adam Wood, the veteran captain, facing and getting bowled first ball. What a start by New South Wales. They've got a wicket off the first ball, and Adam Wood has banged at the bat against his pad. And Darren Parkin, what a good start that is by South Australia.
Terrific start. Shades of Brendan McCullum, obviously, in that World Cup final where he sort of came down the track and no chance for a loosener, right on the money, top of middle and off. And unfortunately for Wood, who's a reasonable old swing at it, still cursing at himself on the way off, out to the very first ball. And New South Wales continue that momentum out of the previous grand final in with an early start.
Yes, New South Wales looking to break South Australia's stranglehold on this competition. We look forward to seeing Luke Trudgett bat. I don't know whether you know much about him, Dash, but I've seen him play the last 2 years, and he's played some grade cricket and got 46 off 17 balls in the final last year to make sure that the South Australians got over the line.
Certainly some handy players in the lineup, that's for sure. Players with a lot of experience at a very, very high level.
Justin Millard coming in now. Luke will come in a little bit later, of course, but got some work to do here after a poor start. South Australia, 1 for none in overcast conditions.
It rained up until about 8:30. Conditions have certainly fined up.
And he advances and plays the ball a couple of metres away.
So Park straight into his work early with that breakthrough off the first delivery. And just a chance now for Millard to maybe just settle things down a little bit, just work their way through the first couple of overs and try not to turn that into momentum, which we see so often in short form cricket where it can get away from you very quickly.
Sliding edge, but stopped. And no run again.
Give them so much confidence. Obviously early in the innings, you know, just gets the fieldsmen up on their toes after that first breakthrough. Getting rid of a key player early. So Park through 3 deliveries of his first over.
And again, a swing and a miss. Slightly wide of the off stump.
I feel the fieldsmen were very interested in that one. Prospect of there being an outside edge, but it did look like a wild swing. But certainly the bowler very much on top early, getting the ball to just move around a little bit.
He's lost his way, Park, as he was coming in. It's got more overcast and more wintry by the minute. Darren, here at McDonald Park.
Yeah, it sort of threatened to rain, but the forecast suggested that it was likely to only rain in the morning, which we had a delayed start to the earlier match and reduced overs as a result of that.
And that took a bit more bounce that Millard manages to keep out. What a terrific opening over this is by Park, getting a wicket.
Closing in on a maiden. Very rare short form maiden if he does get it. A wicket maiden at that.
He advances and misses, and it wasn't taken cleanly behind the stumps. But a terrific opening over by Park. He got a wicket with the first ball So South Australia 1 for none after the opening over, losing their veteran captain Adam Wood for a golden duck. We had a diamond duck in the first match, Dash. It was a long diamond duck in regard to time spent.
I'm not sure what would feel worse, the golden duck where you've just been genuinely beaten by a good delivery when you weren't quite set, but you've obviously had a chance to have a look, or whether the diamond duck where you've done nothing wrong, but you've been given no opportunity because you've been run out at the non-striker's end without facing a delivery.
Oh, I think a duck in any form of the game,
you'd probably feel
pretty
more
deflating,
cheated if you haven't faced a rock, though.
Correct.
So it looks like it'll be Austin Phillip into the attack.
Fast medium, like Andrew Park. And defended back up the wicket. The other opening batsman is Luke Smith. Batted pretty well, I remember, last year in the final.
Just having a look from the non-striker's end at what the ball was doing for that whole first over, and then defending watchfully his first ball. A terrific start by New South Wales.
Wide of the off stump again, getting a fair bit of bounce.
It's been a test match type start. Been very cautious.
Wonderful again, Dash, to have our deaf and hearing impaired community listening to us on the Cricket Australia stream as they do. Mikey with us as well, interpreting our words for our audience, which is magnificent. Great to have him part of the team. As South Australia haven't got a score yet. It's dabbed into the offside. Now Luke Smith has got them away. There's a shot at the stumps. Everything New South Wales doing turns to gold, and it actually hit the stumps, but no harm done. And it came from Greg Lessing.
Terrific fielding, and yeah, great to have the interaction via social media as well, all the Facebook commentary from people tuning into this broadcast. And just looking at the players' shirts at the moment, quite blustery out there. You're seeing the shirts and the pant legs blowing around in the breeze, so certainly aiding the bowlers at this stage.
So Millard facing Phillip, and he was looking to advance and gets a very short ball that ends up being a run because it wasn't taken cleanly behind the stumps by the wicket keeper.
Very close to being a wide.
Should have been a wide.
The only thing that might have saved him is that the batsman advanced down the pitch,
maybe.
So that might have changed at what stage was it above head height, and he ducked a fraction, so maybe enough doubt for the square leg umpire.
So Phillip in again, and it's flicked down along the onside. Great bowling.
And very neatly fielded in the follow through too, just to get down and take that in one hand.
Looking for a good start. South Australia. It's been a slow one so far. 1 for 2. Again, short and wide. But not calling. Not called, I should say. So the end of the over. So 2 overs gone. And New South Wales would be really happy with what they've done here, winning the toss and electing to bowl. My son Alex went out, Darren, to have a look at the wicket. He said, green, Dad, green.
Very, very green.
Yep.
And sent a few pictures of the pitch around to A few people that play a bit of cricket, my father, and they said bowl, bowl, bowl. We want the want it in the hands of the quicks.
The old Ian Chappell and Mark Taylor philosophy may not count today.
Yeah, this might be the one exception to the rule, especially with it remaining overcast, so it's not drying out or anything.
Park got a wicket with his first ball. Bowls a slow one. Pill for catch behind outs. And having a little bit of a poke at one outside the off stump and getting an edge. He's not happy about it. Millard, he's shaking his head. He doesn't think he got an edge, but it's in the scorebook. The umpire said he has got an edge, and he goes up to meet his other umpire, and I don't think he's very happy with the way that Justin Millwood has handled himself there. But anyway, it's in the scorebook, and New South Wales right on top here with Millwood out. It's 2 for 2 in the third over. The reigning champs, South Australia, against New South Wales.
So the ball cut back and went over the leg stump. So he's played with the bat very close to the pad, and the ball's effectively, as they say, cut him in half. And as we saw on the replay there, I think he was arguing that the ball has either hit the top of the pad or has brushed the shirt or the hip on the way through. Bat was very close though, so certainly can't say for sure that he didn't hit that, but I think he would be arguing that the ball's hit something, but not necessarily his bat from that particular replay. Fantastic delivery that moved a long way. So caught Mark bowled Park.
The old Lily caught Willie bowled Dilly back in 79-80. Yeah, this is the gun, the captain. A lot relying on him.
Yeah, not when he wanted to come in, that's for sure.
No, he can't really be as explosive as he wants to be early, Trudgett. But we'll see how he goes. Looking forward to seeing him bat. Park doing well.
This may well be a very good day for New South Wales. 3 grand final appearances.
They're in 2.
They're in 2?
Yeah, they're in 2, but they've already won the first one.
So it could be a double for them.
See, if you look at the replay, Millwood is saying
he wasn't interested at all.
And he turned his back on it. He's just got the hand out saying that missed by a long way. Can't believe it. This has cut Trudgett in half.
Similar delivery to the dismissal.
It was. Came back in. Yeah.
Ball is moving a long way, so there's a bit of moisture in the air and a lot of grass on the wicket.
New South Wales have to bat on it, yes. It might be a bit better for them, but South Australia will have runs on the board, some sort of runs on the board. And this, again, is well up. And Trudgett just happy to have a look.
Can only do that for so long, though. Obviously, not a lot of overs to play with.
Remember last year he smashed a couple of big sixes straight down the ground through the goals at the northern end. The end he's facing from here, straight down over the umpire's head.
Nearly taking out the cameraman down there on the cherry picker.
Turn the game, it was magnificent. And he gets beaten outside the off stump, but half-hearted appeals, hands on heads,
getting significant movement.
He's bowling well, isn't he?
From off to leg. So we've seen 3 in this over, Jag back that far, one that
it's also the captain, Andrew Park. Often see captains open the bowling.
Or bowl at all, for that matter.
Correct. This one's wide of the off stump.
Too wide.
Yeah.
Not to, I guess, break out too much on a tangent, but bowlers that have captained: Courtney Walsh, Sean Pollock,
Bob Willis.
Ray Lindwall captain Australia. Richie Bennode certainly did.
He did. Paul Rifle for Victoria. Simon O'Donnell. He used to bowl a lot.
Yeah, technically Andrew Flintoff, although an all-rounder.
Ian Botham for a little while.
Yeah.
Capel Dev.
In terms of specialist bowlers.
Gee, that's a great catch. That is a sensational catch. as he drove with very hard hands, trudged at that one, and that's a catch taken at first slip by the wicketkeeper, Mark. And they've lost 3 wickets, including the big gun, Luke Trudgett. He trudges off, and South Australia are 3 for 2 in the 3rd over. He decided he had to have a go. The ball moved away. Parker's bowling beautifully here. We'll have a look at the replay. And hard hands, and that was taken at first slip. That was a spectacular catch by Corey Mark. He is delighted. Have a look at him, on fire.
So he's got 2 wickets in his first 2 overs, and it is 3 top-order ducks for South Australia. Smith has been watching the carnage at the other end on one. He hasn't got himself set yet. But just seeing wickets tumble at the other end, and it's a long, long way back from 3 for 3 within the first 18 balls of the innings. Got a mountain of work to do to post something competitive. New to the crease is Kim Jacob.
Phillip bowling his second over. And this is driven nice by Smith, but he takes the pace of it. They're up and about, South Australia. It was a fluent drive that deserved better than nothing.
Oh, such a good catch on the replay.
That is a ripper. Anyone would be happy with that. First slip would have taken that. It might have almost got to second even. Between first and second, that's how well he took it. He moved and grabbed it above his head. In one glove.
Does give you the licence to fly, obviously, with no slips as a keeper, but outstanding.
To get the key man to trudge it out for a duck. Phillip bowls. And just bowling on line here. The wicket's hard to score on.
Just the 1 run off the bat, a couple of extras. A leg by and a wide so far. Feel a little bit stiff to go out like that, but in saying that, it was an outside edge.
He threw the kitchen sink at it, Trudgett, didn't he? And this is down the leg side. I think he got some bat on this, Smith. It'll be stopped just inside the boundary. They come back for a couple. Yeah, they're runs. So 3 runs off the bat, all to Luke Smith.
So not convincing runs.
3 for 5 in the 4th over. Outstanding beginning by New South Wales.
Park with figures of 3 for 1.
Wow.
Phillip, none for 3.
Well, he's the captain. I wonder if he just bowls himself out now. That's how well he's going. Gee, bit of bounce too for Phillip.
You'd see bowling yourself out as the opportunity to have the opposition 5 for 15 or something like that. Game over just about.
He doesn't bowl as quickly as Phillip Park. Phillip a longer runner. Slightly taller. And gets a bit more bounce on this green top now. That is short, and Smith does well to avoid it. And then it dips to the wicketkeeper. Didn't quite take it cleanly. I dare say the Trudgett would have loved him to have not taken his slash cleanly.
That would make that feel a little bit worse, but a good bounce from Phillip on that one. Nice follow through.
3 for 5.
Smith has all 3 runs off the bat. 3 ducks around him.
Plays into the onside, and he gets his 4th run. And that completes the 4th over. He'll keep the strike.
You would sit down as a team before players go out and have your conversations as to what you want to have happen. if they were to script their worst nightmare, it probably would not have been as bad as that. You could not have had a worse start to a game. All plans go out the window.
But you just get in now, don't you? And you knock it around, try and get a couple of singles. If a boundary comes up, you get a rare loose ball, which they're not getting too many of. Park has taken himself off. He'll save himself for later in the innings. And Lewis Beard is coming into the attack. Smith cuts. That's a loosener towards the cover boundary. It's kept inside. Phillip receives the flick. Good return to the bowler's end. Couple on the board to Smith, who's the key man now.
Looks a little bit like Lloyd Pope. Just Lewis Beard.
A little bit. Hasn't he got redder hair, though?
He does.
Slow medium, walks in. And Smith defends into the onside. Now, my understanding that everyone's on an even playing field in hearing impaired or deaf cricket, that hearing aids are out.
I believe that's the way it works.
Smith advances. Adds another run on the board. He's got all the runs off the bat, and it's 3 for 9.
We've seen him do that a bit.
Fifth over.
In this innings, been prepared to walk down the track.
A la Matthew Hayden.
Big imposing presence. So that's 7 for Smith out of the 9 thus far.
Kim Jacob dabs but doesn't score. Can ill afford a run out.
No, you think they'll be conservative between the wickets even at this stage, even though their best chance at the moment is probably to, turn ones into twos, and unlikely to find too many boundaries.
This is on the leg side. The leg glance, the Dan Lonigan specialty, the only shot I can play, Dash. And 1 run off the bat for Jacob will give him some confidence. Blow away the butterflies. It would have been churning inside. Smith sit on the pad. Questions asked. He's way down.
Yep, too far.
Very ambitious.
Yep.
Again, it was the Matthew Hayden walk, wasn't it? It is a leg bye. And it is the end of the 5th over. So it is 3 for 11 as South Australia try and recover after they lost Wood. First ball bowled by Park for a duck. Millwood given out, caught behind by Mark off Park for a duck. He wasn't happy with the decision. And Trudgett, probably the best player in the team, one of the best players in deaf or hearing impaired cricket. He's played a lot of district cricket back in South Australia. Slashed at 1 outside the off stump, and a magnificent catch by the wicketkeeper Mark between first and second slip. As good a catch as you're likely to see. Park picked him up as well. The captain also out for a duck. So 3 for 11 after 5 overs.
So South Australia, just basically it's now all about the rescue mission or the recovery for them, at least for a little while. Also get a couple of batsmen set at the crease. So 3 for 11 at the start of the 6th over. That's turned around the corner. A pull shot on the bounce down into the deep for 1. Nick Fonte, the new bowler.
Sort of taken the pressure off a little bit. I understand that you've got to try and preserve your frontline bowlers, but with Park going so well being the captain, I would have nearly been tempted to keep myself on as the skipper.
Fonte continuing into Jacobs, and Jacobs just jams that one down into the ground. Wasn't quite sure where it had gone. Thankfully, that wasn't back onto the stumps. Just jamming out the Yorker up into the front pad, back onto the back pad. Good thing that he had that leg there. So the bowler's completely on top at the moment. Fonte continuing in the 6th. And Jacobs played at one outside off stump. The fielding team very interested, but nothing from the umpire is unmoved.
And he was trying to play that through the onside. Played all around it, all over it.
That straightened significantly. So the ball is still moving around. Fonte into Jacobs, takes a couple of steps down the track and again plays it one outside off stump. Keeper not interested, bowler not interested. A couple of the in-close fielders were, but not out.
Obviously, Corey Mark took that great catch. He's taken most balls cleanly. There's a couple he's fumbled when they've left outside the off stump, but
didn't fumble the one he had to.
And also the ones when they've just missed the bat.
So he's sharp on those edges. Fonte into Jacobs, and again beating the bat, but a no ball and a free hit. So good old front foot no ball, I think, there. So now maybe this is the chance for South Australia to break the shackles. They get the chance to just open the shoulders at one.
Well, he can go for broke.
So without fear of consequence, Jacobs on strike to Fonte, and he's gone for the lap, and he's tried to turn it around the corner, and another play and miss. Not sure you get that inventive on a free hit.
Well, they just need runs. That's the issue they've got at the moment. Obviously losing those early wickets. They've just got to let it tick over a bit. Get Smith on strike. He looks quite accomplished.
Could have just backed away and tried to play that over the offside. Fonte to Jacobs again, and Jacobs just drops it into the offside. No run. That ends the over. 6 overs down. 3 for 12. New South Wales right on top.
So it's just got to be the next 4 or 5 overs of establishing themselves. A couple of nice little light-hearted banter out in the middle between Smith and a couple of New South Wales players, including the captain, Andrew Park, who's had an outstanding start, claiming 3 wickets in his opening 2 overs. Among them, Luke Trudgett. Magnificent catch by Mark.
Smith is on 8. Jacob is on 1.
You'll see the highlights of that on YouTube and on the Cricket Australia website a bit later. In the words of Ian Molly Meldrum, do yourself a favour. Get a look at it.
And again, Smith comes down the track to Beard, but just can't get any rhythm. Drops at his feet, no run.
I remember a couple of years ago, Dash, Brown House right across the road, the other side of the ground from where we were broadcasting from. There were people watching it. Big barbecue came out for the 3rd match, which was the hearing impaired match.
Smith turns that off his hip down to deep forward square leg and gets 1 run. So he moves to 9, and as you said, Dan Lonergan, he's looking fairly accomplished. It's a good viewing ground, this, if you were a spectator. Not a lot of obstructions as this one's turned around the corner by Jacobs in the air on the bounce down towards fine leg, who came around and fielded that one in Matheson. He picks up just the 1 run for that lofty stroke. So Smith this time plays back and hoiks it around the corner. One bounce down towards mid-wicket. It's got through the fielder there, but he's just been able to stop it on the second attempt in Greg Lessing. And as a result, they complete 2. That was very nearly 4 runs.
Didn't quite get it in the middle, and Smith was inspecting the toe of the bat.
As we see here in the field, slight misfield, but no damage done.
Opening up a little bit though now, Luke Smith.
So Beard to Smith, again aiming at the leg side. Horrible mix-up. This will be a run out for sure.
Oh.
Taking off was Jacobs. Smith wasn't interested at all. And it was Fonte that flicked it straight into Beard. Beard whipped the bails off at the non-striker's end. Jacobs falls for 2. And South Australia in tatters at 4 for 17. And in the words of Dan Lonigan from about 5 minutes ago, they couldn't afford a run out.
Understatement of the century. It's just all going wrong for South Australia, just panic stations. And Jacob was having trouble getting off strike. And he was trying to, I suppose, be positive, thinking there was a run, and there wasn't a run. The new batsman is Ben Dorr, right in the middle order now. And there's just so much work to be done for South Australia.
Just to post something competitive, like a
that's
three-figure
right.
score.
Yeah.
Or...
We saw a T20 match the other night, didn't we? A Big Bash match where WA got away. It was in reverse a bit. They were one for 29 after 3 overs, and they got bowled out for less than 100. Wickets just kept falling at regular intervals. South Australia need the reverse to happen here, losing wickets at the top and somehow recover.
So Smith facing. It had been a productive over before that. He just defends down the track to Beard, no run. And that concludes 7 overs with South Australia 4 for 17. They'd started to play their shots a bit in that over.
Could you please move your vehicle? Thank you.
So it will be Fonte to continue, who was involved in that run out just a short time ago. Jacobs out for 2 off 9 deliveries. And Smith is 11 not out off 21.
Andrew Park very busy with his field instructions. He'll be up and about after his magnificent bowling performance in the first 2 overs. Power play's over, so they're allowed another fielder out. Not that they probably need to. They could,
yeah, you keep them up.
Have a slip. If you, well, we've got a deep slip, haven't they? Almost like a short third man, very short third man.
Let him have a go at hitting over the top. So Dorr on strike to Fonte, turned off his hip, didn't get a lot of it to the vacant square leg. Just the 1 run. Ended up being fielded by a man coming around it from fine leg.
It's a leg by too. I think he just has to rotate the strike now, Dorr, and just keep Smith facing as many balls as possible. He is the set batsman. If you can have a set batsman at 4 for 18, having been there since the second ball.
Great delivery, good Yorker from Fonte, and just jammed down. So looking at that field, there's a fine leg, a deep square leg, a sort of whitish mid-wicket, mid-on, mid-off. Sort of a whitish cover, a forward, field of forward of point, sort of a gully and a short third man. And Smith goes through the vacant onside, through the vacant mid-wicket area, and picks up a single. Of course, as I always say, you don't know how good a pitch is until both sides have batted on it, but
that's right.
It's a tremendous start from New South Wales.
And blind cricket is a different beast, different sort of cricket. Different ball used, different skills generally.
That's right. Given the along the ground nature generally of the bowling, you're not going to get as much out of the pitch.
Well, they had to delay the start because one of
Yeah.
the wickets on our side of the ground was quite soft, and that's where a lot of the blind fielders field, not far from the bat at all, well inside the circle there. And they actually put a Hessian cover on it, and they said, no good, not safe enough.
So coming down the track there, Smith. No run, well fielded. That was the captain, Park, was in behind that one. Fonte into Smith, and again, good full accurate bowling, and he's done well to jag that one out on its way to the stumps, Smith, and it completes another very good over. That's 8 gone, 3 from it, 4 for 20.
Let's check the wickets. The last one in particular.
That run out.
If they could ell forward. Yes, Jacob was keen on the run, and there certainly wasn't one there.
Just needed a low-risk approach at this stage of the innings. If they get you out, they get you out, but get yourself out.
You're going to persevere. Third over now.
So Beard has been pretty effective, as have all of the New South Wales bowlers. Figures of none for 8 from 2 overs, plus that run out, obviously.
Run rate 2.5 and over.
Coming in and a little tentative outside off stump. And the reason why he was tentative is because he decided he'd leave it alone because it was wide. So 1 more to the total.
Again, I'm not going to criticise Corey Mark because he took one of the great catches you're ever likely to see. But a couple of times, as we've said, when the ball's been left alone, he's snatched at it, not taken it cleanly. Which can't be perfect.
That's right. He was perfect when he needed to be.
As he was then.
And there's a big appeal for caught behind. And again, he's taken all of those. He's taken the ones very close to the edge or that have hit the edge. So Beard looking for some rewards in the form of his first wicket. Goes into Dorr. Leaves that one alone outside off stump.
They're bowling full, they're bowling well, they're getting a bit of swing. The wicket's assisting them. They're doing everything right. The New South Wales medium pacers so far. The fast medium bowlers, Phillip and Park early days.
Eyes would have lit up looking at the pitch this morning for all of them. That's driven in the air and very well fielded by Fonte, who's exercised that run out a couple of overs ago. Keeps that to just 1 run. It would have been 4 had that have got under the bridge.
While Smith is there, though, I know a lot is resting on his shoulders, Dash. There's still half a chance of posting a reasonable score.
He's got some work to do. Beard into Smith. This time steps back and just cleverly turns it around the corner to mid-wicket. Fonte, who's in everything, fields it. 1 run.
Hoping that Nathan Lyon, who's been here today, may join us a little bit later.
The GOAT.
Yes, 390 test wickets, to 10 at the SCG to complete a terrific test summer for Australia.
So Beard in, and that's hit the stumps, and that is bowled, and it's an attempt to turn one around the corner on that occasion from Dorr, and that has sent the pegs back, and another one down. Smith standing at the non-striker's end in disbelief. It's 5 for 23.
Well, my interpretation of that, and we'll get a good look at the replay, was that he came across his stumps looking to try and open it up and turn it down the leg side. So he opened up the stumps and he came across too much, and the ball was too straight for him.
spine down to that short third man we spoke of, but doesn't beat him, so there's no run.
I remember Brenton Lillycrap well 2 years ago when they won a very close final. And I've never seen a bloke more excited. He was running around the oval like it was the greatest thing in the world, and I'm sure it was. It was just so exciting to see how happy he was.
The Sam Harper of the team,
yes,
perhaps.
Correct.
So Lillycrap facing Fonte. Oh, and that one's just tucked off his hip. Smith quickly scampers down to get him off strike. That's well done by the opening batsman, just to get perhaps his uncomfortable teammate down the other end.
Just getting bat on ball, and he came across his stumps, and I think if Conte had hit him on the pads, he might have been in trouble then, because he wasn't playing forward, he was playing back.
So Smith on strike, comes down the track and pushes, no run. Lillycrap backed up a long way, but no damage done. 10th over, 5 for 25. Smith has 14 of those runs.
It's been a monumental battle. He's looked okay, though.
So facing up in the latter stages of the 10th. He's hit that aerially but straight. That's a good shot. He's clearing the arms perfectly safe between mid-on and mid-off, and all the way to the boundary for the first 4 of the innings.
Can I call it the commentator's curse in reverse, Dash?
You
because
can.
Normally you say,
it does work in reverse.
Gee, he's going well, and then he gets out, or she gets out, or makes a mistake, whatever, and it goes against them after you've just praised them. And I'm thinking, I've opened my big trap, but on that occasion, the best shot of the innings so far for the South Australians by Luke Smith.
It does work in football parlance as it works. If you say this guy's got a horrible record kicking for goal,
yes,
it will have the opposite effect.
Yeah.
They badly needed that, and they need a lot more of it. So Fonte, who has a run out, looking for a wicket. Into Smith on 18. Smith goes again aerially, and
good
that's
shot.
Gone racing away. 1 bounce for 4.
It's a beautiful shot by Luke Smith. Just a bit short by Fonte. And it sat up and it said, hit me, please hit me. As far as the South Australians are concerned, they get consecutive boundaries. And it's up to Luke Smith to guide. I know Lillycrap's a very experienced cricketer, been around a long time, age 42. Played for the South Australian team for a while, and as I said, was in the team that won the title a couple of years ago. It's up to him to try and get off strike as much as he can.
So it's 10 overs completed, 5 for 33. Smith has 22 of those 33 runs.
So Beard being preserved for his final over.
Kurt Williams.
Yes, coming into the attack. We might have some spin here for the first time, Dash.
Was Shane Warne's theory, if it seems, it will spin as well?
Yes. It didn't matter whether it
well, wouldn't have mattered, he would spin it on glass.
Yeah, unbelievable. I was down at a clinic he was doing at Brighton District, Cricket Southern Bayside team, a month or so ago, and someone gave a lot of money, raising money, I think, for the bushfire appeal, and keep those fundraising attempts going to raise money for the bushfires which have ravaged East Gippsland. And a couple of dads paid a lot of money to have their sons face Shane Warne. And then he decided to give, just out of the blue, a masterclass on spin bowling. And he bowled another 5 or 6 overs. He was unbelievable.
Could not get a better education than that.
It was unbelievable. It's a nice late cut.
Yeah, he's almost cut that out of the keeper's gloves.
Yes.
That late. But, yeah, it's interesting you talk about that. I think for most people, it's funny for me, you talked about playing for Australia and things like that. When you realised you couldn't do that, my dream was to face an over from Shane Warne, just to see what that would be like. A proper over, him bowling legitimately.
This is the 11th over. And so Williams, what can he do to Kurt Williams? Bowling spin, driving, great shot. But there's protection at long off, one run.
It's almost a long stop.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Rather than long on or long off.
He hit it too well. Lillicrap just has to rotate the strike. He's given air and he drives, but no timing. And again, they're dipping with the amount of air he's getting as it comes to the batsman.
That's the problem, though, also for Smith. As well as he's going, there has to be some support at the other end, turning the strike over.
Yeah. Can't keep providing dot balls. And I think there might be a stumping here. No, he's just kept his back foot anchored, trying to swing across the line, Lillicrap. And again, beautifully taken by Mark. He did a good job, didn't he? Those bails are off quick as a flash, but Lillicrap did the right thing, and Luke Smith gives him encouragement, which is the way to go, as he was struggling to get bat on ball, and that over at 5 for 35 after 11. South Australia sent into bat, and it was a nightmare start. 3 for 3, couldn't have had a worse start. Losing Adam Wood, first ball bowled by the captain, Park. Millwood was given out caught behind. He didn't think he hit it by Mark off Park. And Luke Trudgett drove at one, got a very thick edge, and Mark took a spectacular catch between first and second slip, diving away with his glove above his head, and Trudgett out for a duck. He was seen as the man to get them to a decent score after helping them win the last 2 years.
Lessing is the new bowler here.
Tall man. Another medium pacer. Smith drives in the air. He manages to beat long on. It stopped a couple of metres inside the boundary. He must keep the strike. And they come back for 2.
So he's on 25. Lillicrap on 2 off 8 deliveries. So Smith 25 off 32, striking it at 76.
It's 5 for 37. I know Luke Smith also plays some great cricket in Adelaide as well. Full toss, driven down the ground again. Long on for 1. They really should go for 2, but Lillicrap isn't as quick as he should be between the wickets. Certainly wasn't on that occasion. He's just got to get bat on ball and drop it away. Almost tippity run. Field's deep enough for them to get a sneaky single, I reckon, Dash. Here.
Absolutely. Cover just coming in a fraction.
Just gets bat on ball because these are well up Yorker length deliveries. 5 for 38 in the 12th over. It's short and a wide. Extra run, extra ball. He had a swing at it though.
They've got to hit 3 figures, I guess, as a target from here. That still requires them scoring at about 7.5 and over without losing many wickets.
He's got to pick as many gaps as he can, Smith. Needs to start taking a few risks. I know they've got 5 wickets gone already. That's better from Lillicrap, swinging across the line to a Yorker length ball, and he's off strike, bringing Smith on strike.
Gives them a chance to just got to find the boundary maybe once and over, if possible.
And then it's up to New South Wales to bring the field in at the end of the over to keep Smith at the non-striker's end at the start of the next. This is a full toss, which is down the leg side and called a wide. So they get another crack at this.
As much as they get the extra delivery, you'd probably feel you're missing out if you don't score off a full toss outside leg stump.
That's right. because, again, there's not much support at fine leg.
Yeah.
There's a short third man and a deep backward square. He goes high, he goes long, and that is the best shot of the day. A big, big six that'll roll into my house. It's got into the front yard.
That's at the house with the Christmas lights that are still up.
That's right, and the house that had the barbecue 2 years ago, and they were watching the cricket, and the two young boys are watching it from inside the lounge room, and they've come out and got the ball.
So that means there are no excuses. We spoke before about they might have been on holiday. They aren't. They're at home, so no excuses to have the Christmas lights still up.
Correct. And I think Mum and Dad have just pulled up as well, have they? Was that the house next door? Might be the house next door.
I think they were worried about that going into the lounge room.
Yes. Beautiful shot by Luke Smith.
That would have almost gone for 6 if there was another ground out there.
I think so.
It's a decent hit.
Well, that'll help their cause. He'll need to get on strike now for the next over, though. And he attempts to cut a wide ball. It's taken pretty well behind the stumps by Mark. We've been very complimentary of his keeping today.
This has become the first of what you would call a good over for South Australia, that they've been able to cash in without loss. I think they're up to about 11 runs.
Smith driving again. Told Lillicrap not to go. He might be run out. Does he get back in time? He does. Good return. Bale's whipped off. And really, I think there was a run there. Lillicrap was doing the right thing, and Smith panicked a bit. Yeah. He needed to get on strike for the next over.
He did.
That was the wrong move by Luke Smith.
Ended up being 13 runs off the over, but it should have seen Smith retaining the strike. He is the man at the moment. And as you say, Lillicrap doing exactly what he needed to do. Backing up and being ready to go.
It's definitely a run.
Yep, and he's completed a single really there, Lillicrap. He's run halfway down and halfway back. But Smith is 32 off 35. He's got his strike rate up to 91. Lillicrap is 3 off 10, but he obviously needs to score more frequently than that, but he's still there.
He struggled particularly against the spinner in the last over, didn't he?
Yep.
Kurt Williams continuing. Just the second over of spin from New South Wales. And Lillicrap is bowled, is he? He is bowled. Bowled around his legs. Just had to wait. I was unsure whether maybe Mark could have knocked it on, thinking he could have got a stumping, but no, he did bowl him around his legs. And that move by Williams not to get a single has not been a good move by South Australia. They've lost their 6th wicket. Lillicrap did the job that he had to do, and unfortunately didn't last long enough. 6 for 48 South Australia at the start of the 13th over.
And he was just looking down the track there, Lillicrap, I think asking if the ball had hit the stumps or if the bails had been flicked off. I think the bounce actually surprised him a little bit. Might have expected a little bit more.
Surprised me too, Dash. That's why I hesitated slightly.
He was expecting,
got him around the legs,
I thought that would have bounced over the stumps from where it was, and he was even then gesturing to the next few batsmen coming in that the bounce was a little low. And he's been replaced here by John Maggs.
Yeah, definitely. You look at the replay, it's well bowled. When you're a spinner and you bowl a batsman attempting to swoop around the legs, that's a wonderful achievement. Nathan Lyon bringing out the water for the New South Wales boys. They're pretty happy about that.
He's doing it all, Nathan Lyon.
He is having a great time.
Took 10 wickets at the SCG a couple of weeks ago and running water at Geelong today.
Do you think he'll play one-day cricket again?
He should. It's amazing because he got his test chance because of what he did for South Australia in the old Big Bash.
He did.
He and Tim Payne visited the fire-affected communities in New South Wales last week, straight after that test as well.
Maggs is beaten, and I think he may have moved the back foot, but it's not taken cleanly by Mark behind the stumps, who's produced some spectacular work. He might have almost had another wicket here. Let's have a look. Yeah, I got a feeling that he had lifted the back leg and he was out, and Mark snatched at it and couldn't take it cleanly. It's an opportunity. The first one goes begging for New South Wales missing out in a certain wicket. Still 6 for 48 in the 13th over.
Not that it should ever happen. Was it Andrew Hilditch that was given out for what Mags just did, picking the ball up and handing it to the keeper? Was it Hilditch?
Correct.
Against Pakistan?
It happened to Mosin Khan as well a few years later. I think that was retaliation.
Dreadful thing to appeal for.
Oh, yeah. Full toss, driven by Mags. He'll get, and they need him on strike as much as possible. Luke Smith.
So he's 32 at about a run a ball.
Not even at 50 yet. They've got to get to 100, as you keep saying. That's got to have any chance. Short. And he tried to pull that one, missed it completely. The wicketkeeper as well. Mark missed it. They've got to go for 2. There's not enough urgency. Mags wants to go. Smith eventually goes. Smith is the one who, to me, hasn't had enough urgency in his running. Unless he's got a slight injury and can't run too freely.
He did look like he pulled up quickly there, so you wonder whether there's a tight hammy or a tight groin or something like that that's preventing him from turning quickly.
Just got to go, get as many as they can. He's on the back foot and he punches the next one. But again, just sort of saunters through like they've got a big score on the board, which they haven't. There might be method to his madness. There's 7 overs left after this.
Treating it like the middle stages of a 50-over game rather than a 20-over game.
Mags on strike now to Kurt Williams. And he gets beaten again and not taken cleanly by Mark. I think he might have also removed his back foot from behind the crease. Let's have a look again. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah, that was a sharper chance. Like it was up and down. Like he may have been okay anyway, but the first one was more of a realistic wicket opportunity, I think, than that one was.
He's disappointed with himself, Mark, as he takes his hat off. We can see on the screen. So Luke Smith needing to produce some magic here in the last 7 overs at 6 for 52. 13 overs gone. There's a great man coming, is he?
Yes, Nathan Lyon will be joining us shortly.
Great. The start of a new over. Lessing bowls. Smith turns on the onside for 1. Gee, they're deep. The fielders, Phillip, he was out on the boundary at deep mid-wicket again. They needed a hustle. Lindsay Heaven was out there, as he was in the blind match earlier today. And Stubbs, they would have been bursting to get 2. Absolutely. Different sort of game.
Yeah, it is, but it does sometimes require that same level of urgency or intensity.
6 for 53, 14th over. Lessing in again. Smith hits this high. He'll clear mid off. Won't quite go to the boundary. Williams picks it up. They come back for 2.
Slightly misjudged in the field. Took a couple of steps forward and then it just sailed over the top. Didn't go over the head by a long way, so I wouldn't say it was a chance, but had the initial movement have been backwards by the fielder, and just maybe.
I think that the umpire's also coming down to Mags and issuing instructions.
About running on the wicket, perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah. Similar to what we saw with Dave Warner at the SCG in the last Test match.
This is well up again. He's a big man, Mags. He runs with the shot. Fonte throws, but he makes his ground. So they're scoring regularly.
And good approach here from Fonte, that's for sure. Nathan Lyon to join us in commentary very shortly. As it is 6 for 56.
Smith gets one on the leg stump and flicks it down to deep backward square. Another run on the board. They keep coming, but only singles.
but at least it's scoring off every ball, as we said, of 7, 8 and over from here gets them at least to 3 figures, something they may be able to defend. Very green track, overcast.
Mags, is he... Well, I thought he might have got an edge on that. It was well taken by Mark. He lunged forward and got it, but I think it might have went off the pad. Looking to turn on the onside, got a bit bamboozled by that one. By the big fella Greg Lessing. In the 14th over at 6 for 57. One stage over 3 for 3, South Australia. Lessing bowls. Beaten outside the off stump. Did he get an edge? Mark took it well again. He reckons he did. But the umpire says not out. So 14 overs gone. 6 for 57, South Australia. 6 overs left in their innings. And it's with great pleasure we welcome the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I think we can call him the GOAT, or Gaz, whatever. Nathan Lyon is down here today. And Nathan, great to have you with us. Welcome to the coverage of the National Cricket Inclusion Championships here at Geelong.
Thanks for having me. It's pretty special to be down here.
It is, isn't it? You're out there running the water for the New South Wales boys.
Yeah, just ran out there and they said I was the best water boy they've ever had. So pretty stoked with that one.
And congratulations also on your place in the ICC Test 11 during the week, along with Mitch Stark and Pat Cummins amongst the bowlers. So you occupied 3 of the 4 spots. So great work for the other bowling team.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's pretty special to get that acknowledgement, I guess. So, yeah, pretty happy that I think there was about 5 Aussies out of the side. So the things are heading up for the Australian side.
Could you have scripted a better home summer than that? Obviously, you've retained the Ashes in England, probably frustrated not to win that 5th test, but then to come home and basically whitewash Pakistan and New Zealand and then start so well with the one-day boys in India.
Yeah, obviously it was disappointing not to win the Ashes, but it was pretty amazing to retrain. Is that a run out?
Well, there was a direct hit, but Smith has made his ground. He thought he might have got it past Beard, but he didn't. And he had to run with the shot, and New South Wales are getting everything right here.
They certainly are. But, yeah, back to the Ashes, it was pretty special to be a part of a side to retain the Ashes. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing summer to be a part of, to be honest.
And getting a 5-wicket haul at the SCG, which is something you haven't achieved for a long time, is a badly needed boundary. Comes from the bat of Mags. That'll help South Australia. You must have been happy with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Always special to take 5 wickets for Australia, no matter where you are. But when you're playing at your home ground in front of your family and friends, it's pretty special to play a big role in the win for Australia.
Marnus Labuschagne, the emerging cricketer of the year, and had a stunning year. Most runs, obviously, within that calendar year. Got an opportunity by chance at Lords with the concussion to Steve Smith. Did you guys see that coming? I'm sure you thought he was a competent player, but to do what he's done?
No, I probably didn't see what he achieved coming, but obviously knew he was a good player, and he's obviously worked his backside off to improve his technique. And he's definitely done it. He's been fantastic for us, and he's getting the reward that all the work he's been putting in. So yeah, it's pretty exciting to see Marnus playing the way he is.
Mags starting to offer Smith some support here as the score moves to 6 for 63 in the 15th. Good standard cricket, Nathan, isn't it? These guys have done a great job. Look at this for a shot. But he might be caught. He will be caught. Lessing's taken the catch inside the boundary, flicked it off his hip, Smith behind square, and the 7th South Australian wicket falls. Luke Smith's fine innings comes to an end, and there's 7 for 63 in the 15th over.
That was a great catch.
Was. Got some good quality players. There's quite a few, I think, in South Australia that actually play great cricket, that are playing in this hearing impaired team today.
Yeah, I've actually bowled to, I think, Luke, who had just actually got out just then. I bowled to him in the nets just a couple of weeks ago before the Adelaide Test match. So it's a great standard of the cricket. I just love that the national championships down here. It does a fantastic role for everyone with a disability, and it provides a really safe place for these guys to come out and play and really enjoy the game of cricket that everyone deserves to enjoy. Australia's #1 sport is cricket, so yeah, it's amazing to be a part of.
Do you draw, I guess, some inspiration from that? You guys are obviously playing at the highest level, but seeing the amount of people playing the game from different backgrounds and different challenges that they face in their life as well, that to see that, you know, some people it might not always come easy, but they're out there performing as well as they are.
100%. I've been an ambassador for the National Inclusion Championships for 4 years now, and it's been absolutely a privilege. It's not something that I get asked to do. That's something that I want to do. And these guys, they give me some pretty honest and open feedback, which is fantastic. So I actually take a lot out of coming down here, and I'm being very, very fortunate enough to make some really good friends. Oh, he's on a hat-trick here.
He is. He's just bowled Mags, who's looking to swing that out of the ground, and well bowled Williams. They're now 8 for 63 in the 15th over. How many times have you been on a hat-trick, Nathan?
I've been on a couple, but always get nervous about getting hit for 6 or something.
So you go back into your shell.
Yeah, don't bowl my best ball. So, but yeah, let's see how. Hopefully, we can see a hat-trick here. Would be a nice way for New South Wales to finish, I think.
Now, have you met Gary Lyon before?
I have met Gary Lyon just at the. I did the celebrity kick for a longest kick challenge at the grand final day, just gone. So.
Well, his brother Rick is actually running the production crew here today. So.
Yeah, right. There we go.
Did you, when they started giving you that nickname, did you? Because you're from New South Wales, from young, but of course you had spent time in South Australia. Did you know who he was? And they said, well, bowl Gaz would have been Brad Haddon, and then of
it was
course
actually Graham Manu.
Graham
Manu, was it?
Yeah. It was,
really?
Yeah, it was Chock who gave me that nickname. So I knew I'm not a mad AFL fan. I'm more rugby league. But I obviously knew who Gary Lyon was, but I didn't know the extent of his playing ability. But I've since found out that.
How does it go on tour when, you know, obviously some of you'd want to bring out maybe a rugby ball and some of you bring a Sharon out if it's raining in England or something like that? Is there ever a battle over what the ball sport is during a training session or a downtime?
Well, for the last few years, it's always been the AFL ball, but slowly but surely we've got all Queenslanders and New South Wales in our batting lineup. So there's a good number of Queensland and New South Wales guys in the squad. So it's the league ball's slowly coming out a little bit more, so which is good fun. But we don't mind a kick or a torp of the Sharon. So it's all right.
As is often the case, we'll have to wait till the next over if the South Australians don't lose more wickets, because that was the last ball of the over that Williams picked up a consecutive wicket, second wicket, and there's a run at the start of the next over. Have you got it 7 for 63? I've got it 8 for 63.
7. I think it's 7 to this point in time. Actually, no, you're right.
I've
I think it is 8 for.
Yeah.
It is 8 for. Yeah. Certainly 8 for at this stage. But yeah, that target of reaching 3 figures. I mean, they were 3 for 3 early, 4 for 15. The chances of that were obviously slim. But when Smith was at the crease going as well as he was, they had half a chance. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to take some serious defending from here on in.
Simon Maggs has just come to the wicket. Who's more quirky, Steve Smith or Marnus Labuschagne?
Well, I've always said that Steve Smith is very strange.
Another wicket, and Fonte has gone right through his opponent in Tim Tully, and the 9th wicket falls at 64, and this could be over pretty quickly for South Australia in the 15th over.
Yeah, so I've always said Steve Smith is pretty strange, but the thing about Marnus at the moment is he's actually trying to copy everything that Steve Smith does. So they're becoming quite strange, and that's a pretty strange little couple there, actually. So
he's a real cricket nuffy. I was told that he played for one of the county teams just before the Ashes last year. Glenmorgan, and he made 180, and he came in, instead of sitting down and being relaxed about it, he was practicing his eye-hand coordination with a wicket and a ball up against a wall in the rooms, and people were saying, for God's sake, Marnus, take a rest. I can't. Got to get better. Got to get better. Got to get better. He's on the go the whole time.
Yeah, he is. That's one thing I love about Marnus. He wants to get better each and every day, and he's always trying different things. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Marnus, and he's definitely been playing absolutely house down. So fingers crossed he gets a hit tonight. In the one-day stuff.
Yeah, you make your debut and don't get a bat. It's a bit stiff if you're coming in at sort of 3 or 4. I'm curious to know just about the art of bowling spin in Australia. I was looking at the statistics for visiting off spinners or finger spinners when they've come to Australia for probably the last 10 years, and none have averaged probably better than 50. I think your average in that same time is about 31, 32. Obviously, you do play in Australia more frequently, but I guess the challenge of, getting our wickets to produce those sorts of results, yeah. Speaking of wickets.
Well, it was a full toss. It was missed by the number 11 batsman. Unfortunately for Shrey Patel, he wasn't able to get bat on that. And that is, well, I would call, Nathan, a perfect performance, wouldn't it? 64 you bowled a team out for in the 15th over of a T20 match. They've been unbelievable.
Yeah, the bowlers have done the job. So now it's up to the batters to really stand up and hopefully knock this total off for the New South Wales side.
And I guess a short way of asking that question is, why do you think visiting spinners struggle in Australia so much?
I believe a lot of visiting spinners don't spin up the back of the ball. I'm a big believer of spinning up the back of the ball and being able to get that bounce. And I believe you need bounce in Australia to be effective, and so really hoping that Ashwin and Jadeja and these guys aren't listening to this at the moment, so they don't know what to do next summer. So,
do you think you play India too much? I understand why you do, because of the fact that they've got plenty of money in the coffers, but would you like it to be mixed around a bit more?
I think the Test Championships has changed the programming a little bit. Yeah. Normally we wouldn't have back-to-back home series against India so regular. So I think the Test Championship has changed that. So that's going to be an exciting little concept. So that should be a great thing to be a part of. So fingers crossed that we're able to make that final. And more than likely, if we keep going the way we want to go, it'll be India versus Australia final at Lords, which would be ideal. But there's a lot of hard work to get done before that.
Have you seen a change in Davey Warner, Nathan, for the better?
Yeah, Davey's obviously he's a world-class player, and he knows what he's doing, and he's doing it very, very well as well. So his summer, he didn't have the Ashes that he wanted to play over there. Obviously Stuart Broad had his number, but he's come home here and he's really he's combated out of his skin really to get a couple of hundreds and the big 335 down at Adelaide. Yeah, it was pretty special to see.
We appreciate you coming in. It's great that you're ambassador for the National Cricket Inclusion Championships. Looks like your team. I know you've spent some time at South Australia, but you are a New South Wales boy, so I dare say you're on the bandwagon of New South Wales. If South Australia had have bowled them out for 64, would you have been following them, Nathan?
I'm down here supporting the cricket, so...
Well said. Good
down
answer.
Here supporting the cricket. It's just
Sit on the fence.
Definitely sitting on the fence, but it's been good fun. I've enjoyed it.
Thanks so much for coming down. The great Nathan Lyon joining us in commentary. And just quickly, the South Australian innings bowled out for 64 in the 15th over. Wood, Millwood and Trudgett all out for a duck to Park in the first 2 overs of Park's bowling, and Mark took a spectacular catch to dismiss Trudgett. And Luke Williams, well, he top scored. He did a great job. Luke Smith, I should say, but there wasn't much else supporting him. Williams got 3 wickets. Park got 3 wickets at the start. Fonte got 2 at the end. They shared it around, and basically 65 to win for New South Wales should do it comfortably, Dash.
They should, and Park the pick of the bowlers, as you said, but 65, you'd imagine they should be able to knock that over. Admittedly difficult conditions, but nowhere near enough runs on the board for South Australia.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll come back very shortly and see if the New South Wales team can make it 2 wins in a row and end South Australia's dominance of the deaf competition, having won the last 2 years. You'd have to say that a score of 64 isn't going to be enough, so 65 to win, and New South Wales will start their run chase very soon. And once again, thanks so much to Nathan Lyon for joining us in the coverage. Back with more shortly in the National Cricket Inclusion Championships here at Geelong. A brilliant bowling performance by New South Wales has them on target in the Deaf Grand Final of the National Cricket Inclusion Championships in Geelong. They've bowled South Australia out in the 15th over for 64. When you're 3 for 3 after 3 overs, it was always going to be a hard battle. Luke Trudgett being dismissed for a duck. A great catch by Mark. They did everything right, New South Wales. Bowled beautifully. And they need 65 to win the title. Darren Parkin's with me, and we'll start the commentary.
And Williams is beaten outside off stump. Terrific start. Right on the money was Trudgett, who's going to try to deliver with a ball, having been dismissed for a globe with the bat. And that's their only chance, is to do something very similar. Have them 3 for 10 or something of that ilk. We famously saw Western Australia defend 77 against Queensland back in the 70s.
One of the greatest cricket matches of all time. You went around, Dash.
DK
Sadly,
Lilly.
I was. When I say sadly, it just shows how old I am. He still believed they could win.
Bowled them out for 62.
When they were walking through the pavilion door, the dressing room door, he said, "We'll get this. We'll win this."
Into Williams. A big appeal for LBW.
I think going down the leg
Yeah.
side.
I think the appeal was stifled reasonably quickly. But obviously everything has to go right for South Australia.
He was standing leg side anyway. Came across a little bit, but not sufficiently for it to be adjudged LB.
Trudgett into Williams, who plays this beautifully off the
Great
face,
shot.
straight through the gap, and that will go all the way for 4. So great way to get off the mark. Not that they were under any pressure, but just releases any early pressure from the dot balls.
Interesting how Trudgett is going to keep the team's confidence up.
Defended right in behind confidently there from Williams. 1 to come in the first over. Williams turns it off the hip, and he'll keep the strike with that as they scamper through for 1 run. So Lewis Beard, the other opener, will have to sit and watch from the non-striker's end a little bit longer, as at the end of the first over, New South Wales are none for 5.
Yes, good start by New South Wales. Didn't quite get his line right then, Trudgett, who, as we mentioned a few times, was out to a spectacular catch. As good a cricket catch as you'll ever see. It'll be highlighted on the Cricket Australia website, where he dived the wicketkeeper, Corey Mark of New South Wales, between first and second slip, stuck a hand out. Reminded me so much of that Ben Stokes catch. It was highlights the other night on Fox Cricket.
What a year
of Adam
he's had.
Voges. Yeah, well, he was named along with Nathan Lyon, who joined us in the latter stages of the South Australian innings a few minutes ago in the ICC Test Team of the Year. He's in the ICC One-Day Cricket Team of the Year, as you would expect.
And I think he was overall the Cricketer of the Year across all disciplines. Pat Cummins, the Test Cricketer of the Year.
Very good player.
As is Nathan Lyon, our guest from a short time ago.
Something Australia have never had since Keith Miller or Alan Davison. Great all-rounder.
So
Stand
in it
the leg
is
side.
Smith, who bowls that one down the leg side. And Williams unable to help it on its way. So a couple of those that were charged with making runs early in Smith and Trudgett opening the bowling now for South Australia.
I thought Smith batted pretty well.
Yep.
There were times when he could have turned ones into twos. Is what we wondered at the time, whether he might have been injured.
To Williams, full toss, driven, no run, can't beat mid-on Fielding done there by Maggs, Simon Maggs, that is.
Got a bit of support from John Maggs.
Tidy overs aren't going to do the job, though, for South Australia. It has to be wickets. Smith continues into Williams, and Williams can't get a touch on that one outside off stump either. So good tidy start, certainly, from the South Australian opening bowlers.
Change of pace there from Williams. From Smith, I should say, deceiving Williams.
That moved a little bit. Williams trying to replicate what he did in the previous over and just run it off the face through the offside for 4, but playing and missing instead. It's a good smattering of cars make their way in and around the ground.
Well, Victoria play next, so there'll be a lot of support for the home team in the ID Grand Final. South Australia involved in that as well, and those two teams have played the last 2 Grand Finals. Have been terrific matches.
Into Williams, and Williams might have got a touch on this one down the leg side. To fine leg, they complete 1 run. And in fact, it is a wide, so that'll actually be 2. I thought he might have just clipped that on the way through. So for the first time in the innings, Beard will face. Like he almost tickled that. So Beard assesses the field, facing up to his first delivery from Smith and just defending down the track. So there is a fine leg on the edge of the circle. There's a backward point cover, or sort of 2 covers, cover and extra cover, mid off, mid on, a very short mid wicket, and then a conventional mid wicket as well. To Beard, and Beard turns that around the corner nicely. That's through the gap at the vacant square leg, and he gets off the mark with a boundary, just as Williams did in the previous over. And with that, they move to none for 11.
Strained down the leg side there. Swiveled nicely on the crease then, Lewis Beard. Both teams having a number of all-rounders, because Beard and Williams bowled their fair share of overs in the New South Wales route of the South Australian batsmen.
And likewise, Smith and Trudgett batting in the top order for South Australia.
Yes.
Trudgett will continue with his 2nd over now, the 3rd of the innings. None for 11, New South Wales chasing 65 to win.
54 needed from 18 overs.
Trudgett to Williams, and again he loves that sort of delicate finesse late cut, but can't get anything on it.
Well taken by Lillicrap behind the stumps.
Polite question from Trudgett as to whether there was a feather on that, but it wasn't.
Ooh,
yeah, well, Williams again, he's playing very close to the body and very late, and that one he's almost just knocked it back onto the stumps. In the end, he was disappointed at himself at the non-striker's end, shaking his head, but he's also a touch fortunate. It's none for 12. Yeah, almost a French cut.
Yeah, way too late, wasn't he? He's moving a lot in the crease. If you have a look at the replay there, the back leg is moving. He's not still, or still as he'd like to be.
We referenced Sam Harper earlier. That's another Sam Harperism.
Yes.
He moves around the crease a lot.
But they're unscathed. South Australia were not. Over 3 for 3 at this stage.
And you sense in the wash-up that's going to be the story of this game.
It is.
Trudgett just aborts the start of his run-up. Take 2 into Beard, who has 4. Beard turns that around the corner as well. They'll get at least 1. They should get back for a couple pretty comfortably. Fine leg comes around and tidies that one up in the deep mags, but 2 runs and the score goes to none for 14.
So 51 required.
So Beards, know where that one went, tried to turn it into the onside. It sort of jammed between bat and pad. He looked around frantically in case it was close to the stumps, but no damage done.
He's increased his pace, Trudgett. First over, not so much a loosener type over dash, but it was a case of just trying to find his line and length. Now he realised on his urgency right from the start. Okay, I'll just ramp it up a few kilometres.
And that one is struck on the pad.
He's around the wicket.
They aborted the appeal. Again, it was one where bowler was interested. Couple behind the stumps, not quite so much. It's cut back way down. It's cut back a long way too, so much so that it would have missed leg stump, I sense. Very difficult to get LBWs when the ball moves that far. It becomes almost guesswork. Into here, and this is a lovely shot, beautifully played, just rolled the wrists on that pull shot straight into the gap, and quick as a flash that was into the boundary right in front of our scoreboard position. And at the end of the 3rd over, there's been a boundary in every over, none for 18.
Yeah, too short, that one from Trudgett. He probably got a bit frustrated that he got close but not close enough, and maybe trying to bowl a bit too quickly. And if you look at the replay there, Beard almost got on one knee in playing that shot. He crouched on the crease, got in the right position and played it pretty well.
Who was the one knee specialist? Rowan Canai, former West Indian top order batsman.
Oh, Kim Hughes at times too. Spectacular in the
Steve Ward didn't mind the old one knee.
1980 centenary test in England, which was ruined by rain. Might have played 2 of his best, if not his 2 best test innings.
So Williams on strike to Smith again, and favourite shots are on display here. Williams loves the sort of late little cut, and Beard at the other end loves the pull shot, and they both to great effect.
So the South Australian boys are just arriving for the ID match. They might have been told at their hotel.
Yeah, might be on earlier.
Yes, you better get here, boys.
Yeah, they've just unloaded all the equipment to the far side of the ground. It's a bit on strike here. The bails have just been blown off by the wind. So he's adjusted that.
Only 46 needed now.
Be keen to get them quickly, New South Wales, and enjoy themselves in the middle there again. Rolling the pull shot beautifully around the corner, and 1 bounce away for 4. 3 boundaries on the pull shot to deep backward square in the first 8 balls of Beard's innings.
Just too short by Smith. It's stuck in the wicket a bit. Seems to be playing a lot more easily than it did for the South Australians. It was as green as grass. Well, a pitch is made up of grass, if you know what I mean.
It's very nearly hit that for 6.
Yep. Should give up the humour, shouldn't I, Dan?
As that was pushed down the ground for no run. So into the 4th over, none for 23.
They might be bowling a little bit too full, the South Australian opening bowlers. Smith and Trudgett.
Yeah, and they've only dropped short probably 3 times, been punished every time. So they're just getting it wrong both ways. That one nice and full and just pushed into the offside. Fielding done in there by Shrey Patel. So Smith to bowl latter stages of his 2nd over. expect a change from the other end to try to get something happening. Smith in again, and Beard has run that one down to third man for a single.
Thick edge there. Too far away for the keeper to get anywhere near it.
So one to come in the fourth over. As we say, these South Australians have recently arrived for the next game. 3 grand finals for them, and it looks like the first 2 aren't going to go to script.
For them, I think New South Wales were the favourite in the blind competition.
It's been a tough day at the office. Williams just trying to turn that one down, but doesn't matter because it's a wide.
Tried the off-pace delivery then, Smith.
So just no early inroads. It needed virtually a miracle for South Australia, but it needed 3 or 4 wickets in the early overs. Smith continues, and Williams tries to cut that one away again, and it's a wide, overcorrecting this time outside off stump. Does love that shot, the dab, if you will. Plenty of movement on that.
There was lots of movement. He's been unlucky, I would have thought. Just the swing late. It was very late. I mean, Lillycrap took it between himself and first slip, so
yeah, it might have only been wide once it passed the stumps.
That's right, because of the late swing.
So that concludes the fourth over. New South Wales cruising to victory at this stage at no wicket for 25. No wicket for 26 in actual fact.
So only 39 needed.
Beard is 15 off 10. Williams 7 off 14. 4 extras.
Looks like John Maggs is coming into the attack.
Can they at least just take a couple of wickets, give themselves something to smile about in the sheds?
Good to have Susan with us as well, who's obviously providing great commentary for our huge deaf audience watching us on the Cricket Australia stream. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. If you're a New South Wales supporter, you most certainly would be. If you're a South Australian supporter, it would be hard watching.
Well, New South Wales, it's almost day done. Almost 2 games,
it
2
is.
premierships. Ready to enjoy the bar inside.
Remember 2 years ago in South Australia, the first match was the ID game, and the boys bought copious slabs of Jack Daniel, and they were sitting over the other side of the ground near the scoreboard. They're having a lovely time watching the rest of the games because they weren't expected to win.
So it's now pushed by Beard to short mid-off and no run. A left-hander.
Tall man, Mags, isn't he?
He is.
Batted okay too with Smith, a partnership that threatened to get South Australia back on track for a short period. That's a good delivery because it popped up a bit, didn't it, Dash?
Slightly uppishly played, just sort of came high off the bat, sort of deceived him a bit with a bounce. But there was no one in close, obviously.
Yeah, looking at the replay, got him high on the bat.
You almost feel if you're South Australia, you do have to have the field up. There are only chances to take wickets.
Correct.
There's no point protecting little gaps. Maggs to Beard, short, and Beard loves that, and that is 6.
That's a great shot.
Now they'll just get the adjustment. Yes, that is 6.
Definitely 6.
Definitely cleared the rope down near the boundary. 3 4s and a 6 on the pull shot around the corner from Beard, and he wants this over quickly.
I think the South Australians have just got to put the short ball away when they're bowling to Lewis Beard, because he reads it early, he gets into position quickly, and he plays it so well.
21 off 13 for Beard to this stage, and a lot of it in boundaries. 18 runs from boundaries,
and he picks the gaps too.
So Maggs this time a little bit fuller, and he plays and missed outside off stump, trying to cut that one away too close to the body. So Beard on strike. Again, that's short again, that's pulled, and that one will take some stopping. It won't be stopped. It's 4 more right in front of our broadcast position. And as you said, Dan Lonigan, I think it's time they put that delivery on the scrap heap. He's just cashing in far too often.
He plays it well, doesn't he? I mean, obviously goes the aerial route early, but rolls the wrist sufficiently enough for the ball to bounce once it's cleared the infield. So it's pretty safe. It's an excellent shot if you play it right.
He's playing it right every time.
Nothing Ben Dorr could do about that. In front of our commentary position at deep mid-wicket.
So none for 36, 29 needed. He wants to get himself a good 40 odd not out here. Picked up a couple of wickets.
Got a few in contention for the man of the match. I mean, I think it nearly has to go to the skipper, doesn't it? Park, he got those 3 wickets early. It just
that was the
blew
game.
The match open.
That was the game, basically. He got rid of key batsman.
Adam Wood, the veteran, the 47-year-old, has been around a long time. He was bowled first ball.
Got Trudgett.
Millwood, who might have been a bit unlucky, I think. Not sure against that.
Generally, the batsmen know, and you can tell if their response is genuine to whether they didn't hit it or not. In again, and just pushed off the back foot from Beard into the offside. No run. That concludes 5 overs with New South Wales. None for 36.
So 29 required. And it might be over very quickly here. The rain stayed away. It's still very overcast. I'm looking forward to seeing this Chris McQueen bat for South Australia. Dashed in the ID match. He's made a couple of outstanding 80s in the last 2 years. Couldn't quite get them over the line last year when they batted first. And Gavin Hicks is the other one if you want some fireworks. Getting some from Lewis Beard, but it's now Kurt Williams on strike.
Who's played second fiddle after hitting a boundary in the first over.
Looks like Tim Tully will be bowling. He was dismissed for a duck, not Tim Tully. I thought I saw the 7. It's Justin Millwood, who is the unfortunate player to be given out, and he wasn't out. And defending off the back foot straight away, and there's no run.
So Williams is 7 off 15. Beard 25 off 16 has been the one who's been setting the pace.
Justin Millard, I should say. I read my own writing. It's I shouldn't get tough on doctors. Doctors are wonderful, but their handwriting's not one of their strong points.
Pretty much a different language.
It is, and that's very wide of the off stump. That should be called a wide, I would have thought, because, well, eventually it is. Williams didn't move his feet, but he hung the bat out to dry, trying to get a bat on that. He couldn't.
Probably stems from your intelligence, Dan. You've got the intelligence of a doctor, so you write like one.
Oh. You're a nice man to say that, Dash. No chance at medical school. Millard again. And this hits Williams on the pad. He got a bit tangled up.
Fraction high, I think, which hasn't always been the case. The bounce has been a little low. We saw on a couple of the bowls on the attempted sweeps, but that was also probably missing leg as well, but queries on height.
Following these gentle medium paces, which often work in the shorter form of the game. The dibbly dobblers, as they call them. But can get appreciable movement. Although the South Australians have not got it, New South Wales got. Williams hits this in the air. He spooned it. Should be comfortably caught. Is comfortably caught. The captain Trudgett takes the catch at mid-off. He didn't get enough of it, Williams. And Millard breaks through. They get a wicket. I think it's way too late, but in the 6th over, it's 1 for 37 with Williams back in the pavilion.
So 1 down in the 6th over of the innings, but only 28 required for victory. The platform has been too strong off a target base that was obviously considerably too low. Good reward, though, just to get a wicket, not to be totally decimated, give themselves a little bit of confidence and something to go on with. It's been a positive campaign, a positive championship for them. You don't want to get totally wiped away in the final. Clearly nowhere near enough runs on the board.
Austin Phillip, who was one of the opening bowlers, is coming out to join the in-form Lewis Beard, who was the first change bowler. So Millard to continue after getting that wicket. Good catch taken by Trudgett, the captain, who's still issuing instructions. Still hoping for things to happen for his team. Got to make it happen too. Williams was getting a little bit frustrated that it was working for his teammate Beard. He spooned that one straight down the throat of the captain Trudgett at long off. They crossed. Beard faces. And another dot ball.
Batsman should accept that that's okay, though. It's all right if there's one aggressor that's scoring a lot of runs. I know it's a small chase, but nothing wrong with being 20 not out in a premiership win.
I always love those gritty, grafting batsmen. He gives this air, and this is whacked away. Magnificent shot through mid-wicket. I think it's cleared the cones on the full. We'll wait and see. The umpire's a little bit unsure. He's waiting for a response.
The ball's currently on Reynolds Road.
Well, that's right, it is. It's bounced over the fence and up the car park, and the umpire's taken a while, but he's indicated it is a 6. Yes, that was a waist-high full toss. Almost fell out of the hand of Millard on that occasion.
Probably a metre and a half over the rope, so between the rope and the fence. Not a clear-cut 6. I certainly can understand why he wanted to check it, but on the replay, no doubt about that.
Lovely cross bat swing by Beard, who's done a good job. 1 for 43 in the 6th over. They need 22. Another 14 overs remaining after this. It's almost a run and over now. Millard again, and he's caught.
Well,
brilliantly caught as he slices it to backward point, and an excellent catch taken by South Australia by Shrey Patel, and that is an excellent catch. Millard gets his 2nd wicket. He dived away and hung on to it. It was travelling, and a lovely innings from Lewis Beard comes to an end with Millard getting his 2nd wicket in the over, and they're now 2 for 43 in the 6th over.
31 with 2 sixes, 4 boundaries for Beard. Certainly he's done his job. 2 for 43, 22 runs required. They can knock it around and get home from here, but still very impressive from him to set that platform. He'd be disappointed obviously not to see it through, but a terrific cameo. Now brings to the crease for New South Wales Greg Lessing, big boy. He took a good catch after copping a bit of stick with the ball. He was probably the one bowler that was expensive. He fought back, I think, later on in the piece, but went for 13 off his first over. But
as soon as Luke Smith went out,
but he took that catch to get him.
It was all over, yep. He was just starting to look a little bit dangerous, wasn't he?
38, I think he got himself to.
Shrey Patel.
And that's the...
We'll start the 7th over.
Yes, it's the end of the power play.
It is.
Good for Shrey Patel to get the ball now straight after taking a nice catch. So confidence is up. He's fielded a couple of balls pretty well, but that's a good time to come on to bowl. You've been right in the action. Admittedly, the scoreboard is not a good time to come on to bowl.
I'll see what he's got though. Austin Phillip waiting for him. He's a left arm Chinaman.
I love their left arm spinners. Not that I was any good, but I was a left arm spinner.
Leggy or offie?
Offie.
Raymond James Bright, one of my favourite cricketers.
Proud Victorian.
He was. He tosses it up. Patel, driven. Oh, and missed by Dorr. He had a nutmeg. It went right through him. It stopped just inside the boundary by Maggs. John Maggs does well, but that was a poor piece of fielding by Dorr. I don't know what happened. Completely ran over it.
Just jumped straight over the top of it, left the bridge open.
Yep. They get a couple of runs.
Whoa.
Phillip off the mark.
I think an uneven bounce maybe there.
Might have been a bit unlucky as you look at the replay, but he picks this next one up. Hasn't had a great match, Ben Dorr.
Just on Ray Bright, took 5 wickets, 5-wicket haul in his final test match.
He did.
It's a little bit stiff.
In the tied test. This is a slower one. Phillip plays it back. He had a very good tour of Pakistan in 1980. But he really struggled in Australia. He still had a reasonable career, but was better before World Series cricket. It's a slower, flatter one, and Phillip will pull this away. And there's no protection for South Australia. And it was a little bit of a rank long hop in the end. He lost all control. Patel and Phillip paid full toll there.
You know, if your deliveries get fielded by people that are walking dogs, then it hasn't gone too well for you.
No,
as that one
right.
went through the fence and up into the car park again for
as long as the
more
dogs
runs.
are not on the ground.
No, that's
too
right.
much of that in suburban cricket grounds this summer. Tosses it up Patel. Phillip treats him with respect. 2 for 49 after 7. So they've got 6 overs to go, and they need 16 runs.
So they should do that.
Sorry, 13 overs to go. What am I talking
so one
about?
and over. You're in the previous game, which was a 13-a-sider.
I'm always somewhere where I shouldn't be.
So it's 2 for 49, and Ray Bright, I guess he played a lot more Test cricket than somebody like a John Holland or a Stephen O'Keefe, but you only see John Holland and Stephen O'Keefe at the moment overseas.
51 wickets, 25 Tests, but he was. Greg Chappell really rated him. He was on a tour of New Zealand at the age of 19.
But often, I mean, obviously now with Nathan Lyon, you see a lot of those guys that we only see bowl spin overseas. And whilst Ray Bright played in Australia, he was a much better player outside of our shores, such as that Indian series and the Pakistan series that we spoke of.
He was very defensive too at World Series cricket. They made him a defensive bowler. He got a lot of wickets, but because the better players, of which there were many of them during the 2 years of World Series cricket, were able to sit on him. Okay, 16 needed. Millard again, defending from the crease. Lessing, no run. It's a whippy little action, isn't it, that Millard produces?
And he's got a couple of breakthroughs. That just wish he had more to defend, obviously, but New South Wales don't have to do anything silly here, can just knock it around. So they've got all afternoon, effectively, it seems, so 70-odd balls to make 15 runs.
Millard slowing the scoring rate down.
Like Patel's energy in the field.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? Just a very slight figure. Reminds me of that.
Imagine he'd be quite young looking at him.
Laxman Shiva Ramakrishnan from a long, long time ago as a 19-year-old took a lot of wickets in his first Test series and sort of disappeared as quickly as he arrived.
And yes, by the way, before I address that, Patel is from the under-17 squad. But yeah, he was another one of those players you spoke about that burst onto the scene and
does a lot of commentary now.
Yes.
Millard bowls and Lessing's just defending at the moment. They're quite happy to just sit on Millard and maybe get the winning runs off young Patel.
Quite Bob Massey's 16 on debut.
No. And he faded, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he took 23 Test wickets, didn't he? 16 on debut.
Gives it air. Lessing driving through the covers. That's a good shot. Trudge had a lot of work to do. I don't think he'll get there. That'll go to the boundary. Beats 2 fielders.
Perfect placement.
Through the covers.
Everywhere there.
Yeah, it was.
He's picked the gaps in the circle and then picked the gaps in the deep as well. There's mid-off and cover, and you've got a sweeper on the boundary and long off. He's got through all of them.
Turn that into a full toss with that big body he's got. And the right foot thrust forward. Looking at it again. Lovely shot. Didn't look like he hit it that hard. He timed it to perfection. They think about a run. They don't go. And that is the 8th over done and dusted. So 12 required. 2 for 53 New South Wales. South Australia bowled out for 64. Their innings in tatters at 3 for 3.
So 12 runs required from 12 overs. The platform set by Beard, 31 off 19 balls. Williams hit a boundary early but sort of struggled to find his rhythm, and he fell for 7.
Looking at the in-house monitor, the New South Wales boys are under the Cricket Australia umbrella, knowing that it's not far away now. Next man in looks like it'll be the wicketkeeper Corey Mark. on the left there in the pads after taking a spectacular catch, and generally kept pretty well. So young Patel will bowl again. And Phillips on the back foot, not scoring.
The Victorian and South Australian players for the ID game coming up next, already sort of in position, going through a couple of throwdowns downstairs.
He loops this one, and Phillip slightly unsure how to play it.
Lessing almost made a horrible mess of that at the non-striker's end. He got sent back and then got in a bit of a tangle, went to ground, but thankfully got back safely.
They'll get a run here. They should get a run. The fielders are deep, but because of the hesitation, Lillicrap was able to cut it off. So still 12 required. Good second over this by the youngster Patel. Phillip drives the next one. Dorr covers that one pretty well. Not scoring. They don't have to worry too much. They can take as much time as they like.
Bowler maiden here, the youngster. He's got a couple of balls to go, but 4 dots.
Good variation too.
Yeah.
A few flatter ones.
Nice
a couple
action.
he's
Yeah.
looping in, forcing Phillip forward. 1 ball to go to complete a maiden. Tosses it up. Phillip drives. Oh, the commentator's curse. And that is a magnificent boundary in front of the New South Wales players. Gets a good shot through the covers. He carved him. Just gave it a little bit too much air then, and Phillip put that big front foot forward, the size 20s. Don't think he can have size 20 shoes, but who lets the truth stand in the way of a good story?
A couple of canoes if they were that big, but
yeah,
I think
correct.
Ian Thorpe's shoes were 17.
Were they?
Went to school with a guy that had 16s. But 20, I think, is probably a bit of a stretch.
Yes.
Maybe some of those NBA basketballers might be starting to push that level.
20, yeah.
But I think once they get above 14, they have to be custom made.
Like the beds, if
That's
they're
right.
over 7 foot
Yeah.
tall.
I think Ian Thorpe's shoes had to be custom made for him.
Is that right?
I believe that's right.
Probably one of the reasons why he was such a good swimmer.
Well, that's right.
With those
He had
great
paddles
feet.
on his feet.
Yeah, unbelievable.
8 runs from victory here in New South Wales. How quickly can they get there?
Millard to bowl. 2 for 57 in the 10th over. And Lessing treating Millard with respect, just bowling, nagging little medium paces. He's done a good job. Issuing some instructions about what he wants to do and how he wants to do it.
Both these batsmen determined to be there at the end. You don't want to fall within 8 or 9 runs of victory.
Just at the halfway mark of the innings. Lessing will get a run. The return is okay. So 7 needed now as we approach the halfway mark of the innings. South Australia on the cusp of having a very good day. In 2 finals, going to have 2 victories.
South Australia will get one more chance at silverware.
And Phillip, is he out caught behind? Certainly Millard was a bit interested. Lillicrap got interested late.
Patel was very interested at
Yeah, he
that
was.
square leg.
Well, he was looking to run that down through the vacant slips cordon, but played all over the top of it.
Didn't miss it by
Looking at
much.
the replay, it was good
Yeah.
bowling, very good bowling.
Usually you can tell by the keeper who was unmoved.
Yeah, he was. Got a bit interested late. Again, that should nearly be caught behind because he's forward and Lillicrap thought he heard something.
He was a lot more interested then, Lillicrap, in that one than he was in the ball before.
He was.
That move just as it went past the outside edge as well. Good bowling. It's clearly
Did
been the
move.
pick of them.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful bowling. Thought he could see some deviation then, Lillicrap. Wasn't. It was just the movement off the wicket. 2 for 58. And playing from the crease is Phillip. It's been a very good over this. Just delaying the inevitable a bit more, but at least they're trying to fight it out.
Yeah, their response has been good. It was none for 40 or none for 38 or
Yes.
thereabouts in the early stages of the innings, and looked like they could have been beaten within 7 or 8 overs. None for.
And this is in the air, but on the bounce to Patel. Took that great catch before to dismiss Beard, who batted well for his 31. So that's 10 overs gone. Good over again. Good tight bowling by Millard. 2 for 58, 7 required in 10 overs for New South Wales to win the deaf or hearing impaired title.
Only 2 scoring shots in the last 13 deliveries, so certainly fighting hard here, South Australia. And Patel will get a 3rd over, and fair enough, he bowled 5 very good deliveries and then was unfortunately carved through the offside with the last ball of his previous over. He's taken a catch, so it's a positive performance from the young man from the under-17s.
Spoke earlier about all the different ages of players playing in the blind grand final. You had players in their 50s.
Yeah.
A young guy for New South Wales who was 16.
And this game you mentioned at the top of the order for South Australia earlier was Wood was 47, and this young man 16 as well. Appeal for LBW, a long stride down the track and angling away. So still the 7 required.
Ray Moxley, who he had on as for special comments in the blind grand final, president of Blind Cricket Australia, said that Queensland's opening bowlers, one was 16, one was 63, I think.
Driven hard to mid-off, direct hit would have been out through the stumps. Patel backing it up. They scurried through for a quick single, and they cut the runs required down to 6. Running to the danger end was Lessing. Is it an interesting day? Catch, rolled the arm over a little bit without much success, and might be now here when the winning runs are hit. Patel in is coming down at the track, and driving there was Phillip. Again, they run on the shot, and a carbon copy of the previous delivery, a single to mid-off, and it's 2 for 60.
So 5 required. 9 overs remaining after this.
Patel into his 3rd over as that's cut through the gap. Beautifully played. It'll race away, and that'll level the scores with a boundary towards the sweeper position right in front of our scoreboard. And it is now 2 for 64. Scores level, and New South Wales just to deliver the last rights on this game. The ball has gone under the covers, which have been in position since pre-game where it rained very heavily. Just been able to retrieve it. So New South Wales picked up the blind and vision impaired championship a couple of hours ago. They might be about to pick up the deaf and hearing impaired championship in the early part of the afternoon, completing what would be an excellent day's work for the New South Welshmen. South Australia will get a chance in the next match to maybe turn their day around.
Always behind the 8 ball here.
Yeah, in reality, they've been never in the contest since they lost a wicket with the first ball of the match. Park was terrific. So Patel in. And that's turned around the corner. It has hit the pad. They've scurried through for a leg by, and it is the winning runs. Lessing had the bat in the air, celebrating as soon as he got halfway down the track. And the inevitable, or what appeared the inevitable, has become a reality. New South Wales become the deaf and hearing impaired champions in the National Cricket Inclusion Championships for 2019/20. 2 for 65, an 8-wicket victory, and it never looked in any great doubt, Dan Lonergan.
No, it certainly didn't, Dash. It was a good performance. When you have a team 3 for 3 after 2 overs and they never got back on track, certainly full credit to Luke Smith for trying to rescue his team, but he had to take too many risks. And when you've got 5 or 6 wickets already out inside the first 6 or 7 overs, not many runs on the board, it was eventually going to be too much for him, and it was. He holed out, but he did as well as he possibly could. Thought the bowling by New South Wales was brilliant. They used the wicket well. There was a fair bit in it for them. Early days, it was very green indeed. And Park, the captain, was great, getting those 3 wickets in his first 2 overs, including Trudger, that great catch by Mark. And the fielders certainly backed up the bowlers. Beard did a good job with both bat and ball. Williams, he was almost on a hat-trick. He got, well, he was on a hat-trick. He didn't get the hat-trick, but he got 3 wickets. And Fonte also did a good job. So everyone backed each other up, and then Williams and Beard made a good start with the bat. I know that Miller got 2 wickets in the 1 over. And they'll bowl pretty well, but look, they didn't have enough runs to be able to defend the score, and it was always going to be tough for them right from the word go when you lose early wickets.
Yeah, we said 3 figures is what they needed as a bare minimum. Obviously, they needed more than that, 130 or 140 or something like that. But had they have scraped 3 figures together, I know New South Wales started well, but then they lost a couple of wickets, and the bowling improved in the middle stages of the innings. They still probably would have lost, but it would have given them a chance at least to just dig in and push themselves into the contest. And who knows, if they had them 2 for 40, if 2 for 40 became 5 for 80 or something like that, then they would have given themselves half a chance. But you're never going to defend 64 unless you get a miracle opening spell, similar to what our man Ray was saying earlier when he took 4 wickets in an over.
Correct.
Something like that would have been what was required.
With a bad knee.
With a ruptured ACL, mind you.
Yes.
So the roller out there at the moment, getting the pitch ready for the next of our contests today. But New South Wales far too strong down Lonigan with an 8-wicket championship win. 2 games, 2 wins.
And we're looking forward to the 3rd game to see if South Australia can fight back. And we know they've been in good form in the ID comp. And a great performance by Victoria last year to just get over the line. It was a thrilling finish. And we hope we get a great match to complete a great day's cricket here at McDonald Park. Back with the intellectually disabled grand final very shortly between Victoria and South Australia from McDonald Park in Geelong.